You might... Is that your belly or an elephant? Elephant's calling from quite a long way to the south of us. Then you'll give it a little tap, see if anyone's home. The warthog sticks its head out, then you'll just stand here like this and let it go out. But otherwise, you can walk around the front and have a look. Now, if you come over here, VMP, you can see this has definitely been dug by an aardvark, or ant bear. It's a very large hole there. They've gone into it, but it's also been re-excavated. And I think probably by warthogs that have lived in there and stuck their heads in them. Warthogs have a number of temporary burrows around where they live. So that would have been one of the things. Lion track's still going this way. Herbie's just waved at me from through the thickets. I've got to tell you, it's something of an honor going for a walk with a man like this, because he sees things that I just don't. We were walking just now before you came to join us. He was going, see the track there, and that's where it was chasing the buffalo, and that's where the cub turned around and came back, and that's where it lay down. I don't know what on earth he was talking about. Now, I've been in this area for some time, and still that level of skill absolutely astounds me. I haven't seen any tracks for a while. Did you see one? A couple of them. Lynn, you want to know if we ever see owls? Is that right, Rebecca? Owls? We do see owls. Many. Owl pellets. Oh, owl pellets, yes. Sometimes owl pellets, everybody, if you don't know, are something like an animal like or an owl like a barn owl will eat a rodent whole. They don't pick them apart like a giant eagle owl does. They'll swallow the rodent whole, and then the digestive system is so clever that what it does is basically produce a dry pellet of fur and bones, and then they spit it out. We do find them. Barn owls not that common around here, and I think not all the owl species produce them. I think maybe the white-faced does. I've certainly seen a pearl-spotted owl picking apart a carcass. They're not swallowing them whole, and so they probably don't produce the pellets in the same way. Incredible sighting we had yesterday of two white-faced owls, and a viewer sent me an amazing video of a white-faced owl that's been in a sort of a bird rehab center. Because the two of them, I don't know if you were watching yesterday afternoon, but we had the perfect kind of picture book white-faced owl, and then another one that looked like it had been squashed flat with its ears up, and it looked like a totally different species. Now, this video that I was sent shows you how those owls morph entirely when they're faced with a threat. So I think they're probably threatened by us, and they sort of go, they look slightly taller, they go thinner, their ears come up, and they look a bit more like, I suppose, a vicious eagle owl. Very funny to watch. Let's go and get an update from Herbie up here. All right there, VMP. This is the ideal way to be tracking lions on bushwalk. You don't want to be talking, looking into the camera, then at the odd piece of track and that sort of thing. Herbert on point is ideal. We've had a little look at some reptile dung with me. I believe Hayden is following the Sunday dung theme, and he has some further dung on his dash.
So, you know, James and I like our poo. You can tell a lot from an animal's poo. As a zookeeper when I was, it could tell you if your animal was in good condition, if it had eaten something that wasn't good for it, and there's lots of other things. So, you know, animal feces are in our world, and we do use it as a sign that an animal's been here as well, so there's loads of different things. But on a serious note, and it's really interesting because a lot of the time you go through the bush and you might not see the animal, but you've got tracks and signs. And that's part of the bush newspaper. It's part of looking at the big picture and putting it all together. And I just wanted to show you, as we started off, James was talking about digestion. You can have a look here at this this elephant dung on the right, and look, these are still undigested sticks in here. The light is getting a bit low there for Brian. I've got to try and keep it still for him. But you can see how fibrous that that elephant dung is here. But now, if we go down to this impala dung, this here is absolutely incredibly efficient digested material. If I break that open, I'll just cut it open here with my little dissection kit, and I've got to get some light on that for Brian. Sorry, you can have a look there. It's as close as we can get, guys. But what that is, I might be able to sprinkle it and give a little bit more of an idea from the dust that comes out of it. Here we go. Look at that. Look at that. That is finely chewed up, ruminated. Look, it's flying away just like dust there. Vegetation of an impala. Now, what the animal has done has chewed it up. It's gone into its first of its stomachs, and it's come back up as rumen, and it's been regurgitated. And then you might have seen, you know, driving along in the countryside, wherever you live, when you're watching in the world, you might have seen a cow standing on the side of the road, chewing like that. That's my impersonation of a cow ruminating. You may have seen that, and it is the cow chewing over and getting the most out of it. And then what happens through a process of going through this several-chambered or four-chambered stomach, it processes really indigestible plant matter called cellulose down into a digestible carbohydrate, which is energy for the animal, through a process of fermentation. So the elephant has got a very, very inefficient, so to compensate for that, it has to consume vast amounts, which is why we're seeing all this sort of, let's not call it damage, but impact on the habitat. Whereas these little guys have an incredible ability to consume and efficiently use the same plant cellulose, but look what comes out. So there lies the sermon, the end of the poo story from James and I. We will get rid of that for the minute. I normally put them on the bonnet, but they end up staying there for the whole drive, which can be quite annoying. We'll make sure that that doesn't go into anyone's dinner tonight. Right, so we move on and we have a look. So this is an area that Karula was seen in, Brian tells me earlier this morning, and he's not sure either, so we're just sort of looking and looking and looking at the moment. Brent Leo Smith, known also to me as, I like to call him the bloodhound when it comes to leopard, has also told us that it was around this area. So let's just keep our eyes open and see what happens. You never know what's around the next corner. Now, do you know what? I'm just going to tell you something really weird where that came out just now. When that saying that some people may know me for saying you never know what's around the next corner, and the reason I say that is because right on this moment, this point just here, I said that on the other side of the road, and I came around the corner, and there was Blondie from the Birmingham Boys, the only male that I hadn't seen on the day, sitting in the middle of the road. And that's why it is a true fact, folks. You never know what's around the next corner. And I love that about the bush, and I love that about the adventure, and I love that about having you guys with me, the anticipation of wherever you are sitting in the world at the moment, joined on this fantastic live drive that we do every day, or this magical team of Safari Live people. You're with us, and the anticipation is great. He was just here. So let's keep our eyes out for this beautiful girl. Lauren from Melbourne. Hello. Melbourne, Australia. Lauren, so great to have you on board. You're a new viewer. Well, for new viewers, I stopped the car. I salute you. Thank you very much for being with us. And you're saying that it's worth staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning in Australia. Well, that's so great to hear, Lauren. And hopefully we've got you hooked and you've become a soldier in our army. Welcome, Lauren. Great to have you on board. And your team.
Hi, everybody. Emily's hiding at the back as usual.
Hello, Em. Hi, everyone.
Oh, yeah.
We're having we saw some lovely Ellies just down below the camp this morning. We're just talking about you actually, and maybe you can help. Where did you see Karula last?
You can go straight in if you come down here, go down to Treehouse Dam, and then cross over the dam wall and then head straight to the east. You'll see all the vehicle tracks. She's out in the open now. You might be able to get a better spot with the camera than we could get in this long car.
Okay. How many people there?
Just one. No straight.
Folks, I love it when a plan comes together. You never know what's around the next corner. Whee! Oh, any gear? Thanks, guys. Isn't that magic? How fantastic is that? We just bump into Brent. I was saying Brent was telling us this, Brent was telling us that. You never know what's around the next corner. And it might not be an animal, but it might be intelligence from people that know. And many of you would know that was Graham Wallington and his wife Emily, the foundation of Safari Live. Those guys there on it's Emily's birthday, so I wish her a fantastic happy birthday. Treehouse. Can we go down that way, Bri? Folks, I just have to remember my roads. Sightings that just blow your mind because she's this incredible mother. She's got an incredible history. And she's known as the Queen of Djuma, and Djuma, the private game reserve we're on right now. And I just love this cat. Her son is my other favourite, and his name's Mr. Q. But I don't think I'm going to see him this week because he's actually on a few other properties. But he is sort of loitering around. But he was the first leopard I saw on Djuma in 2014. But Karula, who we're going to hopefully see soon, if we are lucky and we're heading the right direction. I just love leopards. We all love leopards. They are such an incredible cat. But we do know intimate details about these leopards on Djuma and on Safari Live, and many of you watching have helped us with that. I often rely on you all to help me if I've spotted a leopard that I'm not sure of who it is, and I really only sort of can really pick out Mvula, Karula and Quarantine are my sort of three that I can remember. But the Anderson male, Tingana, and many others, Sindile, well, I'd be able to recognise Sindile at the moment, but many of these leopards, and for you first-time viewers and Safari Live people that have just come on board for the first few times, we get to know our animals intimately here, and their stories, and the stories are so hugely important, because, we can sit here and bombard or tell you fact after fact after fact, but it's what connects us with these animals and the stories behind them. And research has shown, and I'm telling you this without a lie, a very good friend of mine, my director at the zoo that I work at, Paul Maguire, told me about this paper that he read recently. Research has shown that people connect with the story. They connect with the story, they remember the story. And I just love that. So... Chris Rogue, how are you, buddy? Good to have you on board. Chris has just tweeted in and she said her love nature switch was triggered by a television program in the United States that went right across the world, which I used to watch as a kid, Chris, as well. Brian, which way do you reckon? Okay. And then east. Sorry, Chris, I'm coming to you right now. Chris, you're saying you blame your love nature switch being flicked because of the program Wild Kingdom. Well, I tell you, Chris, I have to say I hugely agree on that. On a television program, well before I was watching Attenborough or anything like that, or any of the interesting sort of documentaries on Nat.Geo or anything like that, I was watching Wild Kingdom as a kid. Wow. Guys, whilst I do this, we're going to cross to James. He's gone from Dung to something very, very special. I'll see you just now.
We found the lions, everybody. Herbert found the lions. There they are. There. There's a lioness moving. Did you see it? Did you see it there, Vimpy? No. We don't know if you saw it, everybody. So you'll have to let us know. We're going to wait here. There's a big thicket in there. They've got the youngsters. We're not going to go anywhere. There. There's another one. We heard some impala alarm calling. Did you see them there, Vimpy? Rebecca, did you see them? There, another one. More of them moving. This is so exciting, everyone. This is just the most fantastic thing. And because there are some little ones in there, we're not going to go any closer. We'll try and get one last look by moving parallel with them, and then we're going to call the vehicles in. This is just brilliant. It's just too fantastic for words. It's so awesome. I'd love to, I mean, that's very nice of Herbert to be congratulating me. It's entirely him. That is just brilliant. We'll just try and get one last look. Like I say, because they're in some thick bush there, we're not going to go any closer because it's quite possible that the female will come herring out at us, and that Herbert says we'll start to dance then. So Herbie's going to call it in on the radio. Now, it's very important at this stage that we don't behave like predators. We must behave completely like we've seen them, like we are dominant, and like we are not stalking them. Now the bush is getting thick. Djuma. Okay, let's go a little bit closer. So we'll bring the vehicles in now, everyone. We'll see if we can get one more view. This is just unbelievable. Yeah. Which one? A few more steps. I'm sure they've moved off into some thicker bush. Because they're aware of us, they will keep moving and just keep. Okay. Just excuse my not looking at you. I've got to keep looking in the bush here. I'm just going to let Herbert assess quickly. Okay, they are coming in the vehicle. We're just going to try. We'll walk parallel with them. They were in this thicket here. What we don't want to do is make them feel harassed. Okay, this is very thick in here. We're going to move all the way around here. As soon as we can get a vehicle in here, obviously they will have a much better view than we will. Here comes a vehicle now. They're still in here. There's some impala over there, so we're probably going to move around here. Some impala through where Herbert was looking. Alright, I think while we try and sort things out here, I think that's the best view we're going to get. Just brilliant stuff. Let's go back across to Hayden. He's got another cat for you. A brilliant Sunday cat festival. Let's go and have a look.
Well, my friends, I tell you what, I can't tell you how exciting this is. It's alright, baby. It's alright, baby. It's okay. It's okay. There's Karula, just down there, and there's her little cub. I can only see one at the moment. Ah, she is so beautiful. This is just brilliant. What an absolutely superb way to finish the week. Sunday, sensational Sunday. So the little cub has just laid down out of our vision, but Karula's just there. I just want them to get used to us a little bit, folks. Just obviously I'm not in the most fantastic position for Brian with that that tree right in the way here, but I just pulled in here, and let's just let them get sorted out. And we're just getting used to us, because the little cubs are also a little just not temperamental, but okay, sorry, my cap just getting into shot there a little bit, folks. I do apologise. But look at her, she's just down there in that lovely little cool spot. Nice breeze flowing. Aha, look what's just come up behind her. Oh, how special is this? The other cub. Phew. That's good to see. Both of them. A male and a female. And how beautiful. Hello, my friends. And hello, you old friend. Isn't she spectacular? Look, just the way she even sits and looks. I mean, a leopard to me is the absolute epitome of beauty, strength and stealth. It's like embodied in this cat, and I just love leopards. You cannot just get tired of looking at them. Wow. So what I'm going to do is, obviously they know we're here. I want to try and get Brian in a bit better position. He's got these two trees right in the middle of the frame from my fantastic arrival here. Brian, I might just move over to the right a little bit, mate. Is that better for you? It's okay, my friends. It's okay, guys. There we go. We didn't even see a movement there. So that's how conditioned or habituated the leopards are to our vehicle. So let me just move back a little bit. Just want to try and get Brian in the V of that tree, so he's got a beautiful shot for you. It's alright, my darling. It's okay. I'm not going to come too close because I know you got your babies. How's that, Brian? Is that a bit better? Yeah, that looks a bit better. So if we focus on her, we've got more chance of the babies coming up to her to show a little bit of interaction, of maternal interaction, and if we follow the little cubbies, they're probably going to run around. They're just cleaning themselves, so it looks like they've just had a feed down below in that little gully or little dry creek bed, or what we call a drainage line just below us. So we're on quite a steep angle here, and they're completely relaxed. They're cleaning. The little cub is cleaning himself down there, just like a domestic cat would, or you'll see your cat after it's eaten at home if you own a cat. Very, very particular about their cleanliness, cats, and they do that characteristic licking their paw and pawing their face, cleaning their face after they've eaten. So that's great news that she's taken an impala, she stashed it, she then went back and got the cubs. Look at that. So she's just moving down now. She may go down and have a feed herself. And we've got that little guy just there. It's not the most fantastic of spots that I'm in at the moment, but I just want to get them used to us before I can reposition. They're in a very playful mood. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to try and just get down over here to our right, and I can see if I can see down that. I can see Karula just down below me here. Brian, if you can just see there a little bit of her back. Okay, so that must be where the kill is. And she's keeping a wary eye out for anyone at the moment. The cubs are just playing off behind here. I'm going to try and maneuver down here and just get a little bit of a sighting of her. It's okay, my girl. Good to see you. That's for sure. Isn't this fantastic? Karula, James with cats, big cats, lions on foot. This is Safari Live. If you love Africa and you love safaris and you love it live, you're in the right place. You're in the right place. I'm going to have to do a very tricky maneuver here. Just let me see if I can get a little visual on her down here. Oh yeah, that's sort of okay, Bri. What's that like for you? We can see her. It's not great. She's in a really tricky position here, folks. She's feeding down there. She's got her back to us. She's trying. See what she's doing now? She's scraping some leaf litter and dirt over the kill, because she wants to leave this kill on the ground for the cubs to feed on. So it's a very different behaviour that she's doing here. Instead of putting it up a tree and caching it up the tree, she's doing this characteristic pawing and covering. That's really great behaviour to see. As I said, folks, it's not the most incredible position we're in, but we do have Karula and cubs, so that's all that matters. How exciting! How exciting is that to see Karula? My goodness, I've missed her. I'm just going to turn around again and see if I can get into a better position for you, Brian. I think. Is that any better there, mate? At least we can see the behaviour. It's not a clear shot, that's for sure, but at least we can see the behaviour, and that's really, really important. So she's also keeping a keen ear open for her cubs, and the cubs are getting older. I just have to remind you, someone might be able to tweet in and remind me how old these cubs are. If you can help me out there, that would be fantastic, and I can share that with the viewers. But that would be great to know. But 2 cubs still, and an incredible mother with great experience, and she's raised many a cub. So you can just hear another vehicle pulling up, folks, and just coming to share the sighting and see this magical cat. So we've just got her down there. I might, Brian, just reposition over here and let these guys in to have a little look. I'm going to just reverse up, guys, and you can pull in here and I'll go the other side, okay? We've got a great question from Paul, and Paul wants to know, does Karula look any different from the last time I saw her? More beautiful, more wonderful, maybe? No, I can't tell, Paul, I have to be completely honest with you, I can't remember what her condition was like last time I saw her. But it's okay, my girl. It's okay, darling. So just gently ease ourselves in here because we have this fantastic vehicle. And I don't know, Brian, whether this is going to be any better for you, but I'm doing my best here to try and... Okay, let's link over to James while I try and reposition and see what he's up to. We'll be with you just now.
Did you see that, Bex? I think you got them. We were kind of leaving this area and we saw some warthogs running, and a lion burst out of the bush from where she was. And I'm just going to show you where they are. You can see Aubrey's vehicle there. We were just kind of sneaking out of the area. Some warthogs came running past. She saw them and she shot out from where you're looking now. And we heard a great ruckus down in the drainage. And Herbert reckons the big boar that was behind them turned and probably gave her a bit of a charge. And then the rest of them ran off. And she's gone back to join the others. Unbelievable. Brilliant stuff. Just a quick link here. I think we're probably going to keep making our way out of here, so if possible, we're going to link you back to Hayden. Is that okay? Oh, yes. There, another one, another lion. Don't go to Hayden just yet. Oh, this is just too wonderful. No, I can't see her now. Let's just, yeah, come this way, Wimpy. Step to your right.
To the left of us.
To the left of Aubrey there. You might be able to see them. Just understand, everybody, this for Viam is extremely difficult because he's looking through a tiny little viewfinder. He's not able to kind of get a wide view like we are able to. It's a bronze-winged courser.
One.
I don't think we can see them anymore. Yeah, that was just fantastic. Okay, let's go back to Hayden and the leopard. If we get another view, we'll come quickly across. But I think we're slowly going to make our way towards quarantine. Wonderful stuff.
Well, my friends, this is absolutely incredible. She's just climbed up a tree right in front of us, and she's just plonked herself, I would tell you, 5 meters away from us, 15 feet in this tree. She's actually at the same height as our heads at the moment. Brian's probably looking straight into her eyes. She's looking down at her cubs at the moment, who I can see, but it's very, very difficult for me to explain where they are. They're down in some thick vegetation. She's watching them with a very, very close eye, but she has just gone up there. Oh my goodness, how good is that? Both born on the 2nd of February. Thank you so much, Wendy. Really brilliant information, and they're born the same month that I am, so I won't forget these little guys. But look at her, look at Karula. Isn't she just fantastic? And look at those paws. This is those moments that you just don't forget, folks. We talked about moments before that you have with wildlife, and today, for me, this is one of those moments. I've really, really wanted to see Karula, and I didn't think I was going to get a chance. But sure enough, first drive out, the lucky porcupine quill folks, I think, had a little rub on us today. She's just relaxing there. So we were just with Brian, Brian's with me. We were just with James with those wonderful cats, and we crossed over to see Karula, but just before we got to you joined us on this cart. She just went up that tree like absolutely effortlessly, just effortlessly, and that's what makes these cats, without a doubt, the most versatile, broadest habitat tolerant cat in Africa. You know, they will live from anywhere in lowland rainforest, and in many lowland rainforests in Africa, they're the only large predator, or the largest of predators. Excuse me, I'm just touching my microphone here because it's falling off my hat. We've got these little microphones stuck under our hats now, which allow us to turn any direction, but it just fell off, so I do apologise for those little pops you heard. So yeah, they can be adapted to those lowland rainforests, to deserts, and the highest mountains. I mean, leopard have actually been found entombed in the Kilimanjaro ice cap. So, I mean, they are absolutely incredible. I use the word absolutely because it's one of those things, I just find them so beautiful. And when we've got animals that are habituated like this, so conditioned, so relaxed around us, it is a great feeling that the conservation work and whether it be tourism or whether it be proper habituation processes that happen with these leopards, you can obviously see that they've worked. Because what we have in front of us, folks, is far from a stressed out leopard. That is for sure. Beautiful. Oh, she's so great. I do. So whilst we're with this beautiful girl, and her little cubbies are down there playing around, I'll keep my eye on them for her and for you. We might just reposition a little bit back, and we're going to cross over and see what James is up to. I hope he's still with those lions. We'll see you just now.
We've left the lions, everyone. There are 3 vehicles in there now, all enjoying the sighting. I'd really, like I say, I'd love to take some kind of credit for finding them. Herbert pulled off an amazing tracking job today, I've got to tell you. Following these lions hard ground through the middle of the block here, it was a truly spectacular tracking feat, and I'm thoroughly in awe, and I really wish I could do the same sort of thing, but I'm afraid my skills don't extend to that. While we were tracking, we did find this fragment of elephant tusk, and of course it's illegal to have ivory, so it will be deposited into the bush once I've left it, and no one will ever find it again. But it's just a tiny little fragment of tusk, but the tusk itself, I think this is quite near the tip, must have been a really impressively sized tusk. There are my hands. I suspect at its, well, round about where this broke, it was about that fat. So at the base, it would have been around that size. Now that's pretty impressive. What's that? It's about half a foot in diameter. Just listening there. The feeling of what we've just experienced is astounding. As Herbert said, Herbert was given a rev by those females 2 days ago when he found them on the kill. He found them on the waterbuck kill with the cubs and with the 2 males. And they gave him a rev, which means basically they charged him because they were so upset with him. And obviously that's always something you're worried about when you're tracking lions. As long as you stand still, you're normally okay. These ones saw us before we saw them, because we were up and down the road trying to find their tracks. And then they stood up and some impalas started alarm calling, so we stopped and we looked, and that's when Herbert managed to spot them, having tracked them so far across the bush. And then we just had that amazing sighting with you. Hardly a view, not the best lion view that you'll ever have, but to do it on foot like that, I have to tell you, is just, well, it's a rare experience and it's a profoundly wonderful experience. So I hope you all enjoyed it. I think at their closest, they were probably, when they came bolting out the bush there to chase the warthogs, they were probably at their closest, I don't know, 40 or 50 meters from us. So they were never that close. That's about 150, 200 feet. They were never that close. But if they chased that warthog, VM said, imagine if they chased that warthog towards us, then what would have happened? Well, they would have ignored us completely. They would have focused entirely on the warthog, and I've actually had that experience before on foot. You see lions bolting out of the bush, and they're chasing something else. They kind of look at you, and then they just keep on going. So we would have been perfectly safe. And when the warthog went, as they do, I thought it had been killed, but it hadn't, and it wasn't caught. Phew! Brilliant stuff. And you've got Karula as well. And you're absolutely right, everybody. Herbie is amazing. And it's, I've spoken quite long about this skill of tracking. And, you know, you find these, you come into an area like this and you find young guys like me 15 years ago or so, I'm not so young anymore, guiding, and you've got your big rifle and you've got your short shorts and your Land Rover, and you think you're a big deal. And on the front of the car, if you're lucky, is a guy like Herbert, who is actually your real bush teacher. And while your guests give you the credit for the animals that you see, it is almost always down to men like Herbert, who carry the last vestiges of an ancient culture of tracking, and especially amongst the Shangaan people. Shangaan people are a very small tribe, small grouping in South Africa, and it's with them, because of the Kruger Park probably, that the last vestiges of this real great tracking skill resides, actually in the culture, as opposed to a learning sort of a learned behavior down. If you go down to KwaZulu-Natal, you'll find very good Zulu trackers, but they haven't learnt it in the same way as these guys have. They've kind of learnt it on the job. These fellows have learnt it from when they were tiny little boys. So you would say to him, "Hikense ngopfu, Herbert, hikensile ngopfu," which means that we're very grateful indeed, and so we are. Let's head back across to Hayden and the Queen of Djuma.
Well, from one incredibly skillful tracker to another incredibly skillful hunter. Herbie, an amazing tracker, and James's very, very kind words about him, and it's totally true. It's just you just want to be able to stand next to Herbie, and hopefully through osmosis you pick up some of his knowledge. But back to where we are now with this magnificent cat, who she's got her eyes on something down there. The cubs are just down below her, but she's very, very focused on something now. What we always keep our eyes open for is, you know, there could be an unsuspecting other hoofed animal walking up, or a herbivore, or anything, but also just got to keep their eyes out for hyena. So, but all the cubs are, you know, what's that? February, March, April, May, June, July, August. You know, the cubs are 7 months old now. But look at how beautiful her face is. Have a look at that. Brian's just coming back up. She's like very, very alert at the moment. And I just want to also just state some facts, folks. I said to you that we're about 15 feet away from her at nearly eye level. That's why we've got these incredible shots. Now, we would never drive up to a leopard like this. She came to us. We were parked here watching her in the gully, that little drainage line. Then she came up the hill. We stayed put, and then she actually ascended this tree. So I just want you to know that I didn't want to start the car then and scare her or do anything, so I just stayed put. But normally we wouldn't drive up to a leopard this close in a tree, because it might disturb her and send her down the tree. So always taking incredible care with what we do with the animal. But I just wanted to, you know, formally tell you why we're so close, and that's because she came to us and just laid in that tree there. She's definitely focused on something down there. Transfixed. So you can hear the voice of somebody else. We have another vehicle with us, and they're enjoying this beautiful sighting as well. Picture perfect. Incredible. There's something that sort of comes over you when you get this close to a leopard, and anyone that has been close to a leopard in the wild that's watching today will know that feeling, and hopefully you still get that feeling through Safari Live as well. But just to give you a bit more information, the sheer beauty of these cats is in our faces right now, so close and personal that, boy, did nature get this one right. Nature gets it all right, really. But this is definitely one of my favourite animals in the world. Brian, what I might do, mate, is we've got her face there. I'm just thinking about, folks, if I reversed up a little bit, we might get a bit more of a shot of where she is, but I'm trying to see the little guys. They're down the other side there. You think we should reposition?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, let's give it a try, folks. So, I'm just going to try that. Well, this is a great comment from Aaron in New Zealand, and before I start the car and reposition, Aaron, absolutely wonderful words from you. Aaron's saying that the first time he watched a documentary in his life, he watched David Attenborough speaking about nature, and he was absolutely in awe about the beauty of nature, and that stuck with him. So that's great to hear, Aaron. That's your love nature switch flicking moment there, and we've all got one, mate. So thank you so much for watching in New Zealand, which it's 20 past late o'clock in the morning for you, mate. So welcome aboard, mate. Great to have you with us. So you can see Karula's not fussed there really with us starting the vehicle. She's just put her head down. I'm just got to watch it. We've got some seriously spiky branches behind us, so I'm just manoeuvring past. Actually, I might just... Brian, can you get a shot of the cub there through over the other side? I'm not sure. It's just on that bank over there, mate. Is that alright? Oh, yeah. That's probably the best I'm going to get, folks, at the moment. That's little cubby there, and I don't know which one, but then we've got Mum and one of her little cubs down there. So they have about 1 to 3 cubs in a litter, and not all of them survive because there's a high mortality rate, but she's such an incredible mother. She's done so well, and she's raised 2 of her cubs to this ripe 7-month age that they're at now, and they're looking beautiful, aren't they? Normally happens about every 2 years, 2-year intervals roughly. Sometimes it differs. You know, you can read many a book and many of the sort of fact sheets on all different animals, and there's always exceptions to the rule, and folks that know me will always know that I say that, because, you know, books say, oh look, they're mostly active at dawn and dusk, and, you know, I've seen leopards hunting in Tanzania in the middle of the baking heat in the day. So look, it just depends on different individuals and different locations, but generally speaking, every 2 years they'll have cubs. So there we have a beautiful, beautiful cat, and we're going to just sit with Karula for a bit because I can't really leave, and I hope that's all right with you. After I haven't seen her for 7 months, I'm more than happy just to sit here with this beautiful, beautiful cat and her cubs. But we're going to cross back to a very, very wonderful human being, Mr. James Hendry. We'll see you just now.
I'm embarrassed by that compliment, everybody, especially as the credit for the afternoon goes to Herbert. There is a floppy-eared bull elephant there. Can you see it? And that I didn't spot either. Fiam spotted that. So all I've done today is talk to you and explain what the masters of the wilderness have found. Now, I believe this is the same elephant that you saw earlier at the waterhole. Hayden said to me, there are a few bulls around here, and that's not surprising. It's dry. They'll be having nice things to drink at the waterhole there. It's one probably the last source of fresh water that there is out here, because it's pumped from that very same pump that I showed you very early on when I was still driving. Now that elephant's quite a distance from us. He's probably about 150 meters, I would say, which is about 500 feet. I'm pretty sure he's seen us because they've got pretty good eyesight. It's probably a bit like ours, maybe a slightly myopic human being, but he's not worried by us at all. As we're not hiding from him, we're not behaving like predators at all. We're behaving well. I mean, he knows what we are. Now, it was exactly the same with those lions. Those lions saw us. We didn't go crouching then behind bushes. We didn't then try and go into the thickets after them. We behaved precisely as we should have. And so they didn't feel any threat. They lay down in the thickets there, and Herbert reckons that 2 of them stayed to watch us. One female moved the cubs away, and then 2 of them would have stayed to see what we were doing. And we didn't behave like predators, and so they left us alone. Same thing with this elephant now. Let's see where he goes. I think he's probably going to come out into the open. Let's move down here a little bit. I'm not even going to check the wind. I mean, I can feel it blowing from straight in front of us. I'm not even going to check it, though, because I'm 99% sure he's seen us. Yeah, we get quite a nice view of him here. There we go. It's a very good question, Rebecca. You're in Santa Barbara. You say, are there any female trackers? Shangaan trackers. I have known 1 in my life. Herbie, have you? 1. Guiding now. Herbie's also known only 1, and she's guiding now. Yeah, the elephant is now facing us. Yeah, he's coming out towards us. We're not too far from Fireside Chat, so if we have to move, we can. But I think he's actually going to that tree. And Rebecca, you're in Santa Barbara. We're just going to move a little bit around here while we answer your question. I mean, to be honest, South African society is still very patriarchal. It's very stratified into roles, especially in the rural areas. And so tracking is not seen as a woman's job at all. As I've said to you before, though, I think that women make better guides than men. Because if you've ever seen someone like Jamie Patterson guiding, there's no testosterone in what she does. So it's purely, you know, she's extremely brave, but there's no ego involved, which means that she's sensitive, but she's not scared. And that is a brilliant approach if you want to be in the bush. So I imagine there would be some wonderful female trackers, and I think that as time goes on and the sort of thing opens up to women, they will do it a lot more. But the original skills, remember, because of the stratified nature of society, come largely from the men, because they're the ones who look after the cattle when they're little boys. And that is when they learn the tricks of being in the bush and how to track. That's when it first begins. Nice question. Thank you, Rebecca. Isn't that lovely? A perfect way to end our little bushwalk. Been quite exciting, really. Okay. We're going to move off towards the Fireside Chat. Now, if you look over there, you might just be able to see a bit of light. And that's where we're going to meet you shortly. Hayden is still with Karula, so we're going to head back across to him now. And I will see you by the fireside.
Well, folks, I just repositioned, and she turned her head around and gave us this magnificent shot to finish our drive on today. And how beautiful is that? It doesn't come much more quintessentially African than that. And you deliver in such a way with your magnificent creatures that I think everyone watching this right now is probably going to have a very, very beautiful image in their mind to finish their day wherever you are in the world. I feel incredibly privileged to be sitting here with this cat, as Brian does, and every single leopard encounter and sighting you have, you never forget. But that is just magic. I'm just taking a few images, folks, because she is just in such a great spot. So apologies about the noise. Just got a question from Dina. Excuse me, folks, again, my microphone, I'm so sorry about that. My microphone's just come off my cap, so apologies, just sticking that on there. Dina has just asked, is that Karula snoring? No, it's not, Dina. It might be just a bird that you heard in the background. There was a francolin vocalising before, and sometimes the sounds can... they can sort of not fit the pictures, but yeah, no, she's not snoring, matey, at the moment. Ah, that's just beautiful, isn't it? So I'm just watching the time, folks, because I do have to get going in about 3 minutes, which is an incredibly difficult thing for me to do, I can tell you that, but we have to meet James at the fireside chat. So I think we've been very, very fortunate. She's going to turn around the other side by the looks of things anyway. Look at that. Have a look at that spot pattern. It's just, when you see a leopard lying like this, you do get that full representation of how beautiful their spots are when they're elevated like that, all the way down the inside of their legs, the darker spots, not the rosettes, and then the rosettes all over. Every individual's different. It is their fingerprint, and nature has got that in one. She can't get quite comfortable at the moment. So folks, I'm going to have to, whilst we've just got those beautiful pictures happening there, I'm going to just give you a little farewell from me for a minute whilst we drive up. We're going to have to leave Karula, sadly, because I could sit here with her until dark here. But we've got to go up to the fireside chat, and that's also a great thing because we'll get to be able to have a bit of a chat about this. But she has got this kill here. There's a good chance she'll be here tomorrow. If hyena don't get this tonight, she may put it up a tree. We will find out. We know where she is, and we will come back here first thing in the morning to see if she's here. So, without further ado, I just put my earpiece back in so I can hear FC, Final Control. And I want to say thank you for being here. So we do need to move on. Goodbye, my dear friend. You have been absolutely amazing as usual. Cubbies, till another day. And how cool was that? You never know what's around the next corner. Yeah. It's good. All is right in the world. All is right in the world. I feel sensational is a word that probably I could use. I feel fantastic. I feel, when you have an encounter with nature like that, like we all just had, it just makes you feel brilliant. You know, it's just brilliant. There's a great environmental lawyer by the name of Gus Speth, I think his name is, Speth. And he wrote a quote once that I read, and it stuck with me for a very long time. And the quote was something along the lines of, he's been studying science for the last 30 years of his life, and you know, he thought that, well, after that many years studying what he was studying and being at the top of his game, he thought that they knew how to tackle climate change and habitat loss and all those sorts of things. But he came to a realization in this quote, and I'm sort of paraphrasing, I'm not paraphrasing, I'm just sort of trying to put it together for you to give you the gist of what it was, because I can't remember it word for word. But it was basically along the lines that he realized suddenly, he had this eureka moment one day, that we need to actually, the problems in the world aren't necessarily just habitat loss and climate change and so on, but they're greed, cynicism and apathy. And he said, as a scientist, I can't fix that. He said we need a spiritual and cultural change in the world to love wildlife again, to love the environment, to love the habitat. So that's why I asked about that love nature switch, when it was flicked in you when you were a kid, or when you're an adult for that matter. And that really stuck with me, that little quote when I read it from Gus. A spiritual and cultural change. You know, when we're little kids, we just love, everything is amazing, and as we get older we get apathetic and we don't really care as much, or we haven't got time. But when you have a moment like that, which we all just did together as a team, oh my gosh, makes your heart sing. Makes your heart sing.
We just thought we'd give you one more view of this elephant, everybody. He's sitting there, you can see his bottom disappearing behind some bush. And what we'll do is just go up onto this termite mound over here and see if we can't get a last look just before we go to the fireside chat. Hayden's got quite a long way to drive, so we're just going to have a look quickly before he gets here. Wind is good for us, still coming out of the north at the moment. And sometimes of an evening we come and sit on this termite mound and have sundowners, which of course is an excellent thing to do. I can't see him anymore then. Wind is still good, so we won't be worried about it. We wouldn't be doing this if we weren't right next to the fireside there, where there was light and vehicles. It's a little bit dark for this. There he comes now. He's got quite nice tusks there. Now he's still a long way away from us, everybody. He's a good 150 meters, 500 feet or so. But you can see how easily they disappear, especially at this time of the night. Isn't that nice? And I wish you could hear some of the stuff here. Unbelievable sounds of the evening, a sort of late winter evening, blowing wind, a couple of those rain locusts or crested locusts going in the background. Bit of smoke in the air, some wood smoke from home, dust, wind, and of course the taste of victory on our tongues after Herbert found us as wonderful lions today. Okay, we'll go back to the fireside now. We'll see you there this time, I promise.
How was that? What a fantastic afternoon it's been, hey? Isn't this just brilliant? I'm so chuffed. I'm really excited to be back, and the little kid inside me is jumping up and down, as I said earlier in the afternoon, having this opportunity and this honour to come back and do a week. And in Fireside Chat we'll explain a little bit more about the school's programs over the next few days that I've come back to especially do. But wow, what an afternoon. Karula and elephant and so I've got a question from Rob in New Jersey. Welcome aboard, Rob, and thanks for joining us, and great to have you. A good question. How many countries have I worked and travelled in? Well, I haven't necessarily worked in all of them. I suppose I've travelled through some on holidays and things like that, but I'm up to an embarrassing 51 at the moment, I think. And I wouldn't have been able to have that opportunity if it wasn't for Nat.Geo. Most of those I have done with National Geographic, and I've been incredibly privileged. Here's this little stinky zookeeper from the suburbs of Sydney sitting in this vehicle here in this great land, South Africa, this amazing country that I'm driving around in this wonderful vehicle with wonderful people looking at the things I love. How'd that happen? I'll tell you that story another time, but for me, I'm really privileged, mate, to be able to travel like I have. But I've also got a beautiful wife and son now, so I have a tendency to not try and travel as much. So I'm slowing down a little bit, mate. Getting a bit grey. Got a question from Dilly in Wisconsin. Hi Dilly, welcome aboard to you. Great to have you with us. I've done a little bit of work up in Wisconsin myself with some black bear. What was it? It was black bear monitoring with radio collars and telemetry. So a great part of the world you're in. Have I ever met Bindi Irwin? No, I haven't. Dilly, and I know she is doing great work with kids, but I haven't had the opportunity to meet her. But you never know what could happen in the future there. But thank you very much for watching and being with us today. Just having a last little scratch around here to see if there's anything out around here on my way to meet James at the fireside chat. Okay, we're going to just head over there now. I can smell elephant. I definitely can smell elephant. Can I go through there? Can I go through there? I have to go around here. I do apologise. I've taken a little wrong route, but I'm going to get to James as quickly as I can. I can smell elephant. I can't see them. Ah, there we go. That must be the one that James, just over there, the one that James just had with him. He's just behind that bush. I could smell him, but I couldn't see him, but there he is. It might be our boy that was down at our water point with us. I'm just going to make a bit of a beeline now to meet James. What a great afternoon. And great to have you on board, and all you new safarians that have joined us today. We hope we've hooked you. We hope you've joined the Safari Live family, because it is a big family. Wonderful people, from the people that created this right from the beginning, Graham and Emily Wallington and Peter Bratt and those team, to all the people behind the scenes as well. This incredible team in Final Control, Bex today, Kirsty, Jerry, Connor, and everyone else, VM, just everyone. And there's a big team behind this that makes it work. We just get to drive around in the vehicles. Okay, so we're going to cross over to James, and I'll be right there in a minute. See you now.